What's going on, Junkie Nation? Gorgeous George and Goes always deliver the big names. Today we get to talk to a fellow Peruvian brother of ours, Gaston Bolanos. Gaston's got a fight coming up here in 2024. Is that the way you like it, Gaston? Start with a fight early and let's have a blazing 2024?
Well, yeah, absolutely. It gives me the opportunity to start the year with a bang. I love that I'm in the first card of the year. This is also my
Mm-hmm.
Apex debut, so I'm really excited about that. I haven't had a chance yet to experience the Apex as a UFC fighter yet, so I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, starting the year with a bang, and then that just creates more opportunities for me.
Yeah, I love it when fighters can maybe have three fights in 1 year. It can't be done every year, but when you get them like this, sometimes you can do three or four. And the reason is because when you bulk up fights at some point in your career like that and you have a run, man, all of a sudden you can just transform because this sport is all about staying relevant. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes in a big roster, fighters can get lost in the shuffle. Folks, Gaston's come over from Bellator. Now he's going to do his thing in UFC. But let me tell you something. This guy is a highlight reel, and you're in for a treat. Gaston, I'm sure you're ready to kind of, make yourself more well known with the UFC audience in 2024 as well.
Yeah, man. Like you said, I've been doing this for quite a bit. I started my run back in Las Vegas in the Lion Fight days, and I'm really happy to. I made my transition over to Bellator. Now I'm really excited that I've made my transition over to the UFC, and I'm happy to go back to Vegas, where kind of everything started. So yeah, I'm excited for this. This is a really exciting fight. Like you said, is the first card of the year, and I cannot wait to put in the show.
And we don't want to take anything away from any of the Peruvian fighters that are enjoying success. Pinedo, Barzola, Puelles. But I think, Gaston, you might have even been around more than you. Of course, I'm not trying to create anything by saying that. What I'm saying is, folks, this guy's an OG. Maybe aside from Tony D'Souza, I can't think of another Peruvian fighter that came upon the scene. So, what is it going to be like to kind of join forces with them? Because Peru is starting to really have success. Pinedo won that belt. Those other guys, they've won their fair share of fights, and of course, you have too. But talk
Mhm.
about maybe that angle. You recently even trained with them.
Yeah, I was just in Peru with Claudio. I was in with Fuerte Enrique. I saw Pinedo after he won the $1 million, and I want to congratulate him and the whole team on that. I was actually with Ivan, who is his coach at PEMAC, Pitbull Martial Arts. They opened the doors to me, and it was amazing to be surrounded by. I've always felt this, every room that I've been at. All over the world. I've always felt like there's a distinct thing about my way of thinking and the way that I am and the way that I've approached fighting. So it was really special for me to be surrounded by 12 other dogs, like we're all dogs, and it was cool to be like, oh wow, like all these guys think like me. They want to be like me. I want to be like them, and like having that kind of energy, and surrounded by being led by Ivan and my coach Mauricio. It was amazing, man. And like I'm truly like recharged. I feel like I'm ready to go. And yeah, those guys are amazing. They've done their fair share of things, and I'm here to just. We have 7 active Peruvians now in the UFC, and there's a lot more coming. I can tell you, I was there with a lot of the talent that they have, and I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to. I hopefully one day we can have a UFC Fight Night in Lima, and we can
Hell
have
yeah.
all of us on that. So that will be. I think that will be truly special. I think the our culture, Peruvian culture, like brings we have something distinct about us, like even I was at the event, the Inca FSA, which is like where a lot of these guys start their journeys, and they end up making their ways into the bigger part of the world, into the bigger promotions, and it was amazing to see that, it's like that raw energy that us Peruvian fighters have.
Gaston, you've even going back to Muay Thai, you've always fought at the highest levels. And I was wondering, your first fight with the UFC, what was that like for you as far as jitters, all that type of stuff? Because it was a big deal. And then coming here for this next fight, do you anticipate kind of feeling relatively the same, or does that kind of go away with that first fight?
To be honest with you, I can't tell you I didn't feel any pressure. there was always pressure for every fight, but I was lucky enough that I started my career in such a big platform as Bellator, and before that, Lion Fight. So coming into the UFC, I was like, wow, like this is where I've always meant to be. I felt like I was at home, if anything. Like I felt like, wow, like this is it. I felt uh I wouldn't say pressure. I just felt like this is where I make my name, and this is where I become who I've always supposed to be, you know? So uh coming into the second fight, I'm excited. I know Marcus is bringing everything into this fight. I'm bringing everything into this fight. I know we're both ready to really die in there and give everything that we have. I know like I'm prepared to die in there. Like I don't, I have nothing else to prove. I've done so much in the sport. I just want to give everything that I have, and I just want to show everyone who Dream Killer really is. Matasueños is coming in.
Back in the Lion Fight days, we would still ask you MMA questions because you trained MMA, and
Mhm.
you were at a gym that predominantly had a lot of MMA fighters in it. So that being said, this is now years later. Where do you feel MMA wise? Is it something that you've grown to love as much as Muay Thai?
Well, I can say like I had a couple losses that were given to the fact that I hadn't given in myself fully to the sport yet. Uh, Lately, as I had my last fight in Bellator and as I made my transition, I still train with my original team, Combat Sports Academy. I've been training with Danny Castillo for now a little over 3 years, just working my wrestling, and then I've also been working with the guys at AKA, and then sharing, like I said, this last camp with Pitbull Martial Arts and all these guys. And my coach Mauricio has played a very important role in pushing me, polishing me into becoming who I really needed to be. Like I feel like I've finally given into the sport. I've given into becoming a well-rounded athlete. I look forward to those grappling days, whereas before I wouldn't so much. I look forward towards MMA sparring, and I'm not looking to be a striker in this sport. I'm looking to be one of the best MMA fighters that's ever walked this planet.
Gaston, do you have anything on the MMA bucket list in terms of a certain finish you've always wanted, a place to fight, any of those types of things on your bucket list there with the UFC?
I mean, I'm accomplishing one of my bucket lists right now, and that was like to fight at the Apex. I've always wanted to feel that like smaller thing, a smaller like I've always through COVID, I saw all those fights that happened. One fight that I can tell you that really like opened up my eyes was that Justin Gaethje Tony Ferguson fight. I was like, when you hear the blows, that Gaethje was landing, I was like, oh my God, like. I want to experience that. I want to be able to have that. And now I'm doing that January 13th. I really want to be on that card on the Sphere in September. That's like another bucket list. I would love to fight on Mexican Independence Day. I'm not Mexican, but I am Latino, and I do have a lot of fans there. So that'll be amazing.
And going back to talking about Peru, a fight night in Peru would be epic. They've been to Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Brazil.
hmm
And I think that's it. I mean, that's, there's like 10 countries that people think of when they think of South
Brazil,
America.
obviously. Yeah, Brazil too, obviously. But I
Yeah.
think we're due for a fight night. I think just being surrounded by that community and seeing like how much it has grown.
Mhm.
Just we have 7 fighters, like I said, active fighters in the UFC. And we have, of course, Barcelos with Bellator. He's a top 10 ranked fighter. Pinedo is the first ever world champion. Yeah, we're due for a fight night in Peru. I think we will do really, really well. I would love to headline that card, or at least be in the main card. But I think it will be something. I don't think I don't think the world has ever experienced that Peruvian energy that we have, and I think it will be amazing for the world to see that and for us to take part of it and lead that.
And think about the favor we would be doing for everyone that comes to the show from the United States. They can experience Peruvian culture and Peruvian food. I mean, the
Oh
fighters are
my
can't wait.
God,
They'll have to miss out
you
on
have
that,
no
but Peruvian
idea
food is
how.
top notch.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna
It's
make
been
weight.
so hard doing. Yeah, it was so hard doing camp in Peru. Like it's just been like my nutritionist was kind enough that was giving me ceviche every day. But yeah, it was challenging to be around the food and not being able to eat it and enjoy it as much. But like I said, it was fun to be part of the culture. And yeah, I would love for everyone, for the world to get to experience what we have, not just that energy that we bring, but the food, the culture. I think Peru is very, very special. Every time I take somebody there, they leave like, oh my God, like I can't believe you left this place. It's amazing, and I want the world to see that.
Hmm. Um, when you were training there, you said aside from the 7 UFC guys, aside from Barzola at Bellator, you said there's a lot of youth that's taken to the sport. So, would you say like it's a ton of young kids that are coming in training, or is it still slowly kind of moving along?
Man, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of talent coming in. There's new guys showing up every time, and like I said, like you don't have to. We're fighters. You don't have to teach us how to fight. We have that in us. I think that's part of our culture. That's always been part of me. Uh, and I think, yeah, you're gonna see more. There's a ton of talent coming out, and I can see it. Like I can see that we will be a powerhouse in the future. I can see that happening for us. I can see, we're gonna have one of the most filled rosters of Peruvians in this generation just to come.
I don't doubt it. I should have thrown Ecuador. I got to give Ecuador some love. They got a few good fighters as well. I don't think they've been to Ecuador, but I got to imagine the UFC's got to make a pit stop there. But it's so true. I'm here now. I'm in Arequipa, Peru, which is just south of Lima.
That's where my
And
grandpa's from. That's where my
oh,
grandpa's
really?
from. My grandpa's from Arequipa. Yeah, yeah. He
Oh,
is
cool. And
Characato for sure.
so haven't been to. Did you just say Characato?
Yep.
So have you
That's
been
how you
down
say.
here
That's how
to
you say somebody
Arequipa?
from Arequipa. I have not, unfortunately. I have
Oh,
not been able to make my way down there. Every time I've
oh.
been, I always go surfing. I go to the north. That's what I enjoy the most. The waves, the food of the north. That's kind of what I do the most. But yeah, I hope to
There's
make
a
my way down there as well.
there's a district here called Characato, and in that
Hmm.
district, there's I guess one of the stations that the Smithsonian and NASA co-own because there's clear skies here in this city, and so they use it to track satellites and things like that. And it's actually in a district called Characato. So when you said that, I was like, "Holy cow,
Hmm.
your grandpa might be from that
Well,
area," but I
somebody,
didn't know that.
somebody that is from Arequipa, they refer to them as characatos for
Ah,
the
did
most
not
part. Yeah.
Did not know that.
Hmm.
Well, I can say it, man. Kids are tough here. They play barefoot soccer, sometimes on dirt fields, not necessarily even on grass. Some might have cleats, some might not.
Hmm.
So yeah, the streets. You have to be a pretty tough kid to grow up. I mean, otherwise, you're gonna get bossed around a little bit. So yeah, I co-sign on everything Gaston says. I expect a lot of young kids to keep coming out. It's a
Well,
pretty big country, and geographically, and like I say, it's a fighting culture.
and like I said, I've been in a lot of rooms in the world, and I'm telling you that energy that I felt walking into Pitbull martial arts with 13, 14 other guys that are hungry. We all want the same thing. We all want glory and that's the thing. Like you see a lot of gyms, and everyone's got their own agenda. Everybody wants things for themselves, and we all do. I want to be a world champion for myself, but I also have a country behind me. And like that's special. That's
Mhm.
different than anything else.
For sure. All right, Gaston. Well, it's great catching up with you, and good luck against McGhee. Here at the Apex to start the year, and hopefully it's one of those years where you can do three if the body holds up. You're 31 years old. I got to imagine you're in your prime, right?
I feel in it for sure, and I'm looking forward to this fight. It was supposed to fight last September. It was supposed to happen in September. I got a little injury that happened, and I am sorry about that happened, but it's part of the game. Now we're running it for real in the first card of the year, and I cannot wait to get in there. I'm hungry, man, and I'm looking forward to this one.
Hey, one last quick one. Do you ever feel the pressure from your Muay Thai fans, MMA fans, that at some point there just has to be a spinning elbow or spinning back fist attack? Like, is that something that you just feel like it's got to be thrown at some point, or is it just
Well,
organically, like you see the opening and you go for it?
it's if I see the opening, I go for it. And that last one, like, I threw one too many times, and Aaron Phillips, took my back and everything. I felt like I had that one in the bag already, so that's kind of what I took that risk. I don't really feel pressure of throwing it. I think as long as people get to see world-class striking from me, which they can always expect when I'm fighting, I think that's what my fans want to see, and that's what they come to see. Yeah, like when I do seminars, they're always like, okay, well, you already showed us all this, now show us the spin. And I mean, you can always expect me to spin at some point in the fight. It could happen. It could be a knockout. It could not. There's been like 7, 8 knockouts that way. And now I'm just looking forward and letting it all loose. Like I said, I feel like a complete mixed martial artist, and I'm looking forward to showing that.
We're looking forward to seeing it. Thank you for the time today. We really appreciate it. Good luck with the rest of your camp. Hope you have a safe weight cut. And Goes will probably see you in Vegas. I'm still in Peru for a few more weeks, but Goes will probably see you in Vegas.
Cool, man. Thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate you guys. You guys have been supporting me since my Lion Fight days, and here we are, man. And I'm excited to put on the show for you guys too. So let's go.